What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the President of the United States of Mar-A-Lago of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, how are you today?
We're doing great. We had a lot of people are saying maybe the strongest rally they've seen ever in one of those states in the middle. It was a great rally, very
Okay.
strong and then I had a great interview with Angelina Jolie's father uh, on Newsmax because,
Mm.
and so we had a great talk there, great talk. You have to do talk, you have to not just listen. And they say I'm a great listener, but you also have to be willing to talk and
Yeah.
strongly talk. And we have a phrase in the Trump family. It's uh, talk the talk as well as talk the talk strongly. And you got to do it. You have to be willing to do it. And not a lot of people have the guts to do it. So we had a strong rally in the middle of the country in one of those states. We had a great talk with James Voigt, and now we're doing a podcast. And Truth Social is we were supposed to join Truth Social this weekend, and some things came up. But the site is doing truly wonderful things, great things. So there's other than Joe Biden destroying the country and Hunter Biden literally sexually assaulting MAGA women with drugs. Everything is going well. We just have to stop the Biden crime family.
Now, Don Jr., have you spoken to him about his internet rants, encouraging him? Because remember, you said to him, we talked about this last time, and have you asked him to ramp it up at all? Because I feel like it takes more attention off of you for the negative attention. He gets more of the negative attention the more he posts.
What I've asked him to do is just double his dosage of cocaine because I'm hoping if he could have a fatal heart attack, imagine the strong sympathy. Imagine I would get all the sympathy votes. They'd say, "Oh, look how strong." They wouldn't see me cry at his funeral, and they'd think, "Oh, he's so tough," and they would realize I don't care that he's dead. They wouldn't realize that it's because I don't care. They would think I was being very strong for the country. So, if he could have a fatal heart attack, too much cocaine, and which is one of the reasons why Hunter's so much cooler than him because Hunter does way more cocaine and not even close to a heart attack. But if Dan Jr. could peacefully protest himself with cocaine, I think I would get a 2 to 5 percent bump. A bump, get it? A bump, a Don Jr. bump for a Poe bump. Uh, and then we'd be looking at a strong third win in the election.
Now, Mr. President, I know you are always in charge of going off the record, but may I ask you permission if we can go off the record for just maybe a minute or less?
You may not. You may ask your question, and we can do editing strongly after. But no, you don't. Why don't you might as well ask me for the nuclear codes, sir? I know it's normally what you do, but can I have the nuclear codes? You never ask to go off the record. You ask the question, and we powerfully delete it and fire you if it's offensive.
It wouldn't be offensive towards you. It's actually helping you, but I think you would want it to be off the record. I'm looking out for. Okay.
We don't do cancel culture here. This
It's
is a
not
free speech
okay.
podcast, even for tech stuff people. It's not a
What?
free work. You can get fired. You can get your ass fired, but you can say what you have to say.
Okay. Have you thought about possibly pointing Don Jr. in the direction of someone who deals with cocaine and fentanyl, which he wouldn't have to, you know, it would be much easier um, than relying on
No, we
him
don't. We
doing
don't do
enough cocaine.
fentanyl. We don't do fentanyl because I have strong friends with Xi in
Yes.
China. Very anti-fentanyl. They do a lot of
Mm.
fentanyl there, and he executes those people so fast when he finds them. Very quick trial, very fast execution. No, we don't want to do this fentanyl because I don't want to say I'm sort of like Whole Foods, which is radical left when it comes to drugs. But I'd rather Dan Jr. go out with organic cocaine, fair trade,
Okay. That's
locally
fine.
sourced, fair trade, organic cocaine.
Organic cocaine. Okay, I never heard of organic cocaine or cocaine described as organic, but
That's free
um,
range as well. It's free range.
so none of the cocaine was tortured or hurt
No,
during the making of it.
it's called free range cocaine.
Okay. Um, now,
It's all right. It's free range cocaine. Bam, 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 bam. Eric Clapton, great anti-vax person.
I thought a bars was coming after that.
Oh no, but
Bars
okay,
has to
that's
be hip
actually
hop only.
well, oh well, look at me. I caught it. I caught it because the president allowed me to say my error, but technically I caught it before you caught it.
Well, let's get into your rally this past weekend. We know you are not afraid to offend, not afraid to call people out. You tell it how it is.
Or you could just say not afraid
Not afraid at
for
all.
all things.
Of everything. Now, you did call out JD
Oh,
Vance.
Jesus. Oh no, that was just my black housekeeper. Sorry. Wait, we were talking, sorry about how not afraid I am. Yes, continue.
Is that your kryptonite, black housekeeper?
Wait, I have no kryptonite. No, we were talking about how I'm not afraid. Continue.
You seem startled for that second.
Well, startled is not afraid. Startled is startled. Any marks, get startled, go.
Now, you humiliated JD Vance at your rally, telling people that he's kissing your ass and that he wants to be on your side. Do you think that is appropriate since he is going to bat for you? He is having your back and you kind of just threw him under the bus. What are your thoughts on what you said during the rally about him?
No, it was a great rally. It was one of our strongest rallies that we've had. And you have to understand, uh, JT was Justin Timberlake was very anti me at first. Excuse me.
Okay.
He was very anti me. He was anti Teo, we called him, and he was very nasty to me. And then he learned, and he became a very strong supporter. And everybody says I'm very mean, very nasty. It's called Christian. It's called forgiveness. And I never get credit for this. I never get every. He's so mean. He abused. No, JD,
JT.
J, JP was very rude to me, very not supportive of the MAGA movement at first. And then he saw the results, and he's a talented guy. He was wrong then, but he's a talented guy, and he's come full MAGA. And it's called forgiveness. And, there's probably no greater Christian ever than me. And if you're going to be a strong Christian, you have to forgive people when they abandon their principles and become followers of yours and support you. It's called forgiveness.
So humiliating him is a form of forgiveness?
No, it's called excuse me, it's called joking. I said kiss me. I'm at his rally. Do you think it's humiliating to have the greatest president of all time do an appearance fee, and I only charged him 50% of my normal appearance fee?
That's very nice of you.
That's called a forgiveness discount. And so he stood there, very fat with his beard, and not like a Mike Pence beard, but an actual beard of hair. And he stood there, and he was very non-charismatic. And I'm the one who helped get him the primary win. It was a very competitive primary. My endorsement won it for him. So if I make some jokes, friends joke. Do you have friends?
Yes,
You ever make jokes with them?
I do, but not.
Okay, so no, there was a yes or no question. So you said yes. Thank you.
Yes.
And so I made jokes with a great supporter, talented guy, JD Pants.
Question for you. If you do run for
Sir.
president, question for you, sir. If
Okay,
you
I'm listening now.
if you do run for
It's like
president,
Sir Says. You ever go to school where they do the Simon Says? Well, we do Sir Says.
you should market that as a game.
We are. It's available on Truth Social right now. Do you have Truth Social?
I don't. I'm still not accepted to it
Well,
yet.
that's your loss then. For $4.99, you get a little digital game called Sir Says. Sir Says, take off your bra. Sir Says, take off your panties. Kiss your boyfriend. Nope, Sir didn't say. Sir Says, kiss your president. It's a very simple family-friendly game.
Is that what you play around the holiday times? Sir Says.
Who?
Mr. Who? I haven't heard of Who in a while.
Well, Horton hears a Who and he hears them quite a lot. Before Dr. Seuss got woke, you had a lot of Hortons. Horton is an elephant
Yes.
and it's Republican.
Mm-hmm. You
That's
think
the
it's
symbol of
connected?
Well, when they tried to cancel Dr. Seuss, I think they were trying to oh no, sir, we're only canceling all the Dr. Seuss. Well, look at that. Caught up in that was a strong Republican elephant named Horton and Willie Horton. They would have kept it if it was Willie Horton books, but no, it was Horton the elephant. And it reminds me in Pinocchio, in the review, the strong review that went up for Patreon people. It was they did a donkey. They turned all the kids who wanted freedom and liberty, they turned them into
Mm-hmm.
donkeys and slaves. That's what they do to Republican kids. They turn them into democratic donkey slaves. But anyway, we're talking about J.C. Chazé in the Senate.
So if Jay-Z's Chazé, if he during a rally of yours spoke and maybe said that you were kissing his ass for an endorsement and joked with you at a rally, would you take it as a joke because you joke with your good friends, or
Well, a joke still, tech stuff, there's a thing in comedy. A bad joke is still a bad joke, whether it's your friend or not. You still have to tell a good joke. Okay.
Mhm.
I probably would have made one of these faces if I heard it because it's such a bad joke. So it was a horrible joke that you suggested, and he wouldn't do that. If he made a good joke, if he would say, you know, I respect Mr. President because he's got such a hot daughter, and yet, you know, very respectful, I would laugh and go, "Oh, that's a good one." But, if he told a joke that was totally false, it's sort of like, "What the hell was that? I didn't kiss your ass."
If the joke failed with you and crushed with the audience, would it still be considered a bad joke?
Tech stuff. How many MAGA rallies have you been to?
0.
Okay. Let me tell you something. One of the keys to comedy is one of the keys to comedy is knowing your audience. They're not going to laugh at a bad joke that they make about me.
Okay. Would you let JD Vance speak at a rally of yours ever?
He did. He spoke. We had JP Pruitt spoke this weekend. It was very
No,
strong.
but I'm saying if you do come out with the news that you are running for president and have rallies after that, would you let him speak at one of the really important rallies?
Tech stuff. If I show up to a rally, they're all important.
Okay. All right. Well, looks like JD is in your corner now, even though, and he hasn't said anything about
Who's that?
JD Vance.
Doesn't
Don't
ring
know
a bell.
don't know. Also, September 28th, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, we have a live episode for all our Perfect 10 Patreon Patriots. It is Rush Limbaugh. That's right. Come check out Rush Limbaugh, September 28th, 9 p.m. Eastern for our live episode, patreon.com/MPGA. There will also be a bonus episode going up this week. Barron Trump will be our special guest, telling everyone special tips on back to school. So go to Patreon.
Madagascar did strong rusty tromboning because I said, sure, your son person can do a bonus, and she was very grateful.
Well, that is very, very nice of everyone involved. And check out patreon.com/MPGA. Also, check out the website. All our episodes are on mpgapod.com. You could also check out the YouTube channel on there, and you can watch all the episodes. So sign up for our live episode on September 28th, 9 p.m. Eastern, patreon.com/MPGA. Rush Limbaugh. Now, Mr. President,
Who?
Mr. President,
Hello.
when the FBI searched Mar-a-Lago,
Raped Mar-a-Lago.
when
That's what
they
we're calling it now. It was a full rape of Mar-a-Lago. If Mar-a-Lago was a person, it would have been very unfortunate.
well, you recently said in the news that when the FBI searched Mar-a-Lago and ran around the premises, when they raped Mar-a-Lago, you were mad at the FBI because when they were in your house and in your bedroom, they kept their shoes on. They did not respect house rules and take the shoes off. I feel what you're saying because I have that same rule in my house: shoes off when you enter the home. And did Shinzo Abe come up with this with you, to take shoes off before you come into the house, or that is just one of your own rules that maybe Fred Trump instilled?
It's an old rule that the great Fred Trump encouraged, and
Mhm.
the Federal Bureau of Idiots
Yes.
don't respect it. A couple of them actually stepped in shit before walking. Exactly, wasn't it? Because
Is on purpose or
Melon.
by accident? You think they did on
Well,
purpose?
either way,
Yeah.
I don't know if they did it on purpose, but that's why we say take off the shoes, because you don't
Mhm.
know where you were. So I'm not even saying they did it on purpose. I'm saying they're the Federal Bureau of Idiots, because Melanoma's son, who's crate training still, he took a shit in the hallway, and then one of them stepped in it, and then brought it into my bedroom. Very disrespectful, very nasty, very disgusting. And I thought, this is what the tax dollars do. They go after a president and they drag Barton shit. I think that was a movie once, Barton shit, into a great president's bedroom.
I'm really sorry about that, Mr. President. Did you try to send them a cleaning bill for your carpet? Make them pay for it.
Well, my attorney Sidney Powell is right now doing investigations at a rug cleaning business.
Okay.
And we're going to get an estimate. And from what we're hearing so far, it could be up to $2 million.
Wow, that's an expensive carpet you have.
And it matches the drapes.
That's good. Mr. President, I wanted to talk to you more about your rally. There are rumors that
Have you ever
people.
been to rallies? They make a nice burger. In other places, they call them checkers.
Checkers, all right, not my favorite. But at your rally, Mr. President,
What about rallies?
rallies, and I don't think I ever had rallies.
If you've had checkers, you've had rallies. They just call it different things in different
Different
places.
states. Okay, then
Right,
I've
where
had.
you live, or where you live, they call it checkers because you're so afraid of go fish. They're like, we need to make it a simple game, but it's called rallies in the patriotic parts of the country.
Are you a fan of rallies?
Oh,
Rallies, checkers.
Well, I have very good rallies.
Are you a fan of the food at
We
rallies?
have a big one in we have a big rally in North Carolina this Friday, the Lord's Day.
Are you still a huge fan of McDonald's?
It's our greatest restaurant.
That's right. So you don't want to speak about any other restaurant except McDonald's.
No, I can speak about whatever restaurant I want.
Okay.
Wendy's, she's very ugly. That's why they did a cartoon of her. If they put a real ginger up there, they'd everybody puke out their burger.
Now I wanted to ask you, at your rally, you have music that plays when you come on stage, and people are saying this
And
music.
I'm proud to be an American.
Well, it wasn't the music this time.
You can rape. And when they complain, you call the news. Goddamn fucking fake. And I'm President Trump. Respect me and let me have sex with your daughters because I'm president and the best. I'll suck on those big breasts. And then the jets fly over and the flags wave. And flags, Mike, flags. They wave, and it's a beautiful patriotic song.
I like the remix. What
remix?
Those aren't the original words. That's all.
You better look that up because I think you don't know your music. Tech stuff. We don't call you music guy. We call you tech stuff guy.
Okay.
And by the way,
yes,
bars because it rhymed.
We
could do a hip hop remix very quickly with that.
Okay.
Like Cypress Hill once had a song called Rap Superstar and then
Rock Superstar. Yep.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
I know you. Oh, yes. Now he knows all the pop culture. Now the president has said 90% of the answer. Here comes tech stuff. Oh, Rap Superstar, sir. Well, they did two versions, so we can easily do God Blessed the USA rap version with the same lyrics. Okay, you had another question before you get fired?
Yes.
Okay.
The music that was playing at your rally, people were saying it sounded very similar to the QAnon music. Did you happen to use the same composer? Is it just a coincidence? Did you do that on purpose? Please tell the people so people can stop saying that it was the QAnon music, or maybe it is. I don't know, but it sounds very similar to the QAnon music.
I don't know. I thought QAnon, I didn't know they were producing music. I thought they were just stopping pedophiles. I didn't know they were also getting in the studio and dropping beats. So remember we had Q-Tip. Nobody ever looks into Q-Tip. Remember from a tribe called
Quest.
Diagnostics, right? The people that you drop all the needles in. It's a big company. They do rap, they do needles at medical offices. A tribe called Quest Diagnostics. I'm getting emotional because when you think of a great company in our country that can do rap, that can do tribes, that can do diagnostics, that's a hell of a company. Tech stuff.
It sure is.
And Q-Tip though, nobody ever looks into him as QAnon, and he's been walking around all the time as Q.
Yeah, but he's had this name Q-Tip before QAnon existed.
Oh, do you know that? I mean, wouldn't that be the great alibi to be like, oh, I've been here since when it was all, if you have a long-term plan, my friend G in China, they have 10, 20, 50-year plans for their country. So they don't do what we do here, which is, if this country was smart, they'd say, sir, we want you to be president for the next 30 years, sir. And then you can really put a strong agenda forward when you're not fake news can't try to get you fake impeached every 2 years.
So the music does not sound like it's not affiliated with any kind of QAnon music.
Well, I don't know QAnon music. I listen to mostly Frank Sinatra and Ted Nugent.
Okay.
And great patriots like Toby Keith and things like that. Yoko Ono, also very strong in music.
Very strong music. I didn't know you were a fan of Yoko Ono. I don't know.
That was presidential humor. She sounds like She sounds like a dying cat when she sings. So I like to listen to it sometimes and say, to remind me of how untalented the left is. Oh, what a hit. What a hit. Great song. Great song. Yeah, goes. Yeah, she probably when her radical left husband was peacefully protested, she probably started crying and then recorded that and said, "I think I've got a hit." It's called "Hysterical Untalented Woman Screaming and Crying."
Now, Mr. President, I wanted to ask you about Ron DeSantis. I know you're not a huge fan of his. He definitely pulled a great Donald Trump move and stole a play from your playbook. What
Well,
he did,
that's all he does. That's all he
yes.
does is steal from the playbook. If he were in the NFL, they'd be calling him. They'd be calling him. They'd be calling it Migrant Gate.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about. He sent Texas migrants to Martha's Vineyard. Now, that's something that sounds like you would do that. Were you thinking about doing that? Because he didn't even do it for his own state. He's really trying to help people out here. And I think he's really lining up a run for 2024. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, he knows what I tried to do in 2018 is I tried to send the Migos away so that I could get Cardi B because she has very big augmented breasts, and I wanted to see if she was interested in criminal justice reform. And so I actually was going to have the Migos shipped to Cape Cod, and it fell through at the last minute. But then Ron DeSantis, being the unoriginal, uncharismatic, thieving piece of worthless Florida shit that he is, decided to take my great idea and apply it to migrants that aren't even in his state, by the way. That's how weak he is. He doesn't even have them. He had to go to another state. Meals on Wheels. Greg Abbott gave him the migrants, and then he brought them to Cape Cod like an asshole, like an unoriginal asshole. Duplicate DeSantis, we call him, because he's trying to be a copy. That's what duplicate means. Not a lot of people know that.
You're educating the listeners this week, Mr. President.
Well, it's called podcast schooling. It's the next evolution after homeschooling. You don't even need your parent to teach you. Just put on earbuds, and those will be your buds. Who are your friends, left and right?
Now, Mr. President, I wanted to ask you about Sleepy Joe on 60 Minutes. I know you don't watch 60 Minutes. You
Well,
only
it's
watch 59 minutes and 48
well,
seconds. Is
no,
that
we've
what it is?
discussed. No, we were discussed 60 minutes. The whole program is a lie because there's 19 minutes of commercials. So the show should be called 41 minutes, and they lie and they pretend they're giving you. I wanted to have the FCC. We call it the fuck. The FCC to report them. I said, get the fuck on 60 Minutes because they're violating fuck rules. And people said it's called the FCC, and I said that takes too long. Tell the regulators at fuck that there is a major fraud going on at 60 Minutes. They say 60 Minutes, we get 41 minutes of total fake news, but they're not even delivering the product that they promised, which is a disgrace.
Now, did you see Sleepy Joe on 60 Minutes?
I did not.
Well, he stated that the
I mean, I
pandemic.
passed by very briefly.
Okay. How long did you catch of it?
I don't know, maybe 29 minutes.
Okay. Now, he stated that the pandemic is over, but COVID isn't. What are your thoughts on that statement?
Oh, it's typical Sleepy Joe. It's typical Sleepy Joe. That's what it is. It's when you sleepwalk through life, you make statements like that, where you say, the pandemic is over, but the entire reason for the pandemic, not over. I mean, that's literally like saying, the game has ended. We just have to play a little bit more. What the hell does that mean? What the hell? He's like Yogi Berra, except not good at baseball.
Do you think the
You remember
pandemic is
Yogi
over though?
Berra?
Yes.
He was a park ranger. He was
No, it's
walking
Yogi
around with
Bear.
people. No, excuse me. I know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
And he would walk around in the picnic baskets.
Yeah, stealing picnic baskets.
Right. And he wasn't good at baseball.
No, he wasn't. Yogi Berra was good at baseball.
And Sleepy Joe is even worse than Yogi Bear at baseball. That's how bad he is.
Um, so do you think the pandemic is over? You don't agree with him at all?
I think the pandemic ended when we got Trump vaccines. I think
Gotcha.
once we got Trump vaccines, the pandemic said bye bye. Not interested in fighting with Trump, even though he's out of office because of the fake news. He's still done so many great things that we can't compete.
Well, there's two more things I'd like to talk to you about, Mr. President,
A lot
and
of things.
lots of things this week. And that is some sports news. WNBA season is over, and the
Thank
loss
God.
you were waiting for it to end.
Well, it's just you have to hear about it and the complaints like, oh, why don't these women basketball players that nobody sees play, why don't they make more money? Because nobody cares. I mean, they got one of their players. I don't know if you know this. One of their players has been vacationing in Russia the whole season. That's how little she cares about the WNBA. She's not even playing. She's like, I'll hang out in Russia, Russia.
Well,
That's the only Russia story I know.
I don't know if she's hanging out in Russia, but the Las Vegas Aces, congratulations. They won the WNBA title. Did you happen to catch any highlights? Do you know
Yeah,
anything about
they
them?
all get and thanks to their win, they all get $8 off a purchase of $40 or more at CVS. Congratulations.
They just get coupons for winning.
Big time coupons.
Do you know any players who play for the Las Vegas Aces? Any supporters?
I don't know what the hell what sport do they even play?
It's basketball, women's basketball.
Okay, well, there's a difference. Basketball is what black men play and a few whites from Europe. Women's basketball is a totally different sport.
Well, technically, it's the same sport. They use a smaller ball. I think the 3-point line is a little shorter, but I think
It's
that's
like
it.
special. It's like special needs basketball.
Okay.
No, excuse me. I say that respectfully.
Oh, all right. Well, now you say it respectfully, it's totally different.
Well, that's why I said it respectfully.
So congrats to the Las Vegas Aces for winning the WNBA title. And sad news, one of the greatest tennis players to ever play the game, Roger Federer, retired. Are you a Roger Federer fan? What are your thoughts on his retirement?
I was a fan until he retired, which is very weak. You know, a Puerto Rican just won the U.S. Open. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
No.
Carlos Alcatraz. You know, he's named after a prison. He's Puerto Rican from Mexico, and he pretends to be from Spain by lisping. But he can't fool me. He's like, I am from Spain, and I go, no. You are from the Puerto Rican part of Mexico. And for Roger Federer, a great Swiss American, to be retiring and letting, Nadal. Remember Nadal?
Mm-hmm.
He's also Puerto Rican. And the only tennis player you can trust to stop this is Novak's, Jonas Brothers. This guy is so talented and so tough. And he's the only thing standing between great white tennis and a bunch of Latinos stabbing you with their rackets on the court.
They have sharpened rackets, the Latino tennis players.
Well, I'm not going to say I saw this, but I'd heard rumors that, in the finals, he was shaving the end of his racket so that he could go up to the net and stab you in the eye with it, and then hit the ball and go, "I am sorry, I do not know what I did. I am Spanish."
I didn't hear that. Where did you read that?
Truth Social, sorry. It's all on, we have a Truth Social tennis page
That has to be
dedicated
truthful.
to Anna Kournikova and other great tennis players.
Very nice. I did not know that. I learned something new today about these tennis players. I didn't know they sharpen their rackets. Some of them
Well, no,
in order
not
to gain
all of them,
advantage.
just the
Just the
the
Puerto
fake
Rican ones.
Spanish ones who are actually from Puerto Rico, Mexico.
Gotcha.
Oh, excuse me, Spanish. Very
Well,
offended if you don't say it like that.
Mr. President, thank you once again for joining us this week to discuss all these news topics with us, getting into sports this week, Sleepy Joe. And we look forward to the bonus episode coming out September 28th, 9 p.m. Eastern. That is a Wednesday night this time for Rush Limbahana. That's right. Rush Limbahana, September 28th. That is a Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern for the Perfect 10 live episode. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/MPGA. Become a Patreon Patriot. Also, if you are in Hartford, Connecticut, this Saturday night at 8 p.m., I will be headlining Thomas Hooker Brewery at 8 p.m. on Saturday night in Hartford, Connecticut. For everyone who came out to Pittsburgh this past weekend, appreciate you coming out. And come out to Thomas Hooker Brewery in Hartford, Connecticut this Saturday, 8 p.m. on the 24th of September. Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. It's JL. If you're still listening, go to jlcomedy.com for my own Patreon. Ticket link to the York, Pennsylvania show on October 14th is up. And then I'm in Ann Arbor, Michigan, November 11th and 12th, which, you know, they want you to sell tickets and they don't get you a ticket link. So it becomes fun trying to promote shows, just saying, please mark your calendar and come on the faith-based show. So yeah, just jlcomedy.com for all my shit. And as always, thank you for listening. Join the Patreon, and God help us all.